I decided
Mic
against
off.
naming
Mic on.
naming my barbarian against after the teeny bopper punk band. Uh, um, but I don't know how to rename. Um, oh, where am I?
I'm trying to turn my token into a circle. I'm having a bit of trouble with that.
I don't know what how easily it allows to edit the token, but we can try and fiddle with it if we need to. Like
I might.
because I thought when I looked at the tokens that they were all set to be ellipses or something like that, and they still came up with squares. So I don't know.
It might have been like a JPEG instead of a PNG or something like that.
Yeah, I'll
Can
play with it during the next off session or whatever.
Okay.
Because like that's the thing, like all the settings are just in different spots.
Yeah, I might just kind of putz around here in the background trying to change it
I have a
while we
feeling
go.
everyone's going, oh, that is awesome. Hold on one second.
Sure.
I've got to get this the clown face here. Save.
Oh.
Oh wow. Hilariously, I was trying to enter the the scores that I rolled, and
Mhm.
I hit roll accidentally, or thinking that I would be able to adjust it.
Mhm.
Um, and I got 15, which is exactly what I had rolled for the thing for strength.
Good for you. That's one way to do it.
Just have to get lucky every single roll. Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's funny.
All right.
Wow.
So let's do this.
I feel like
You
that's
should be able to
definitely
adjust it manually now. There was a global setting that was in Black Flag that basically, comes down to do you trust your players to come up with their own roles or something like that,
uh,
because it
Yep.
was it was it was locked is what it came down to. Boop.
yes,
Mhm.
PM. You can definitely trust me to make up my to come up with my own roles, and it's just an accident that I happen to have all 18s.
Yes, you and your 20 magic items.
Well,
Oh yeah. Oh, go
that
ahead.
I mean I don't I'm definitely not interested in trying to insist that I should have 10 magic items, but I did roll 750 gold, and then I bought them from the book. So like I did the accountant, and I did the bookkeeping fairly.
I'm sure the
Um,
Sometimes,
bookkeeping is fair, whether or not you can just find 10 magic. Like, it's not like,
yeah. In the
uh,
world, like you couldn't necessarily just buy any magic item, so like, you might just have to like hold on to the gold. You know what I? Right? Is that what you're saying? Kind of.
more or less.
that's that's why I don't know if you looked at the PDF I sent you, but I wrote down how much each item cost next
Oh,
to it.
nice.
I'll
So
look
it's
at it
easy to
later.
compare.
I did not. I'll be honest. I just did not get that far.
Yeah,
I
that's okay.
gotta I gotta say I did take some inspiration from Thardor though. I did look at the magic item list at least to try and buy like one perhaps, but I need to still check if I'm gonna grab it.
Yeah,
I can't.
doing this with a beta
Do that.
system, it's like it's taking me longer to set everything up in
Oh yeah.
Foundry. So it's like I'm not as far as I normally would like
Oh yeah.
to be
Yeah.
at this point.
I can't endorse
What
taking.
kind of items are in there?
What was that, Smiley? I missed it.
What kind of magic items were in there? I didn't get as far as magic items. I like literally just got my hatchet and stuff. But like
Yeah.
literally the magic item I want or whatever is anything that can make them look more like, you know, gestury and like, oh, I pulled out this out of a random object, or like his
Mhm.
little throwing hatchets come back to him. Like it's like only
Yeah.
things.
It was like pretty how do I say it? Like specific. I feel like in 5e in D&D there's like a ton of more like flavorful ones. Like there's like the cloak of billowing that it like literally doesn't do anything like like stat wise, but it just like has cool flavor. I didn't
Love it.
notice almost any of those here. Like everything has some small mechanical benefit. Like
Okay.
it seems, at least from what I've seen, like everything is like, add one to a dice roll or like do this thing, or it's like always like has some little flair of like stats on top of the flavor, which is really
Is
interesting.
there
That's
like
like the biggest
a
difference.
magical container or like pocket he could have that he could just like toss out like a bajillion throwing like tomahawks out of, like something like that?
There. I don't know about the tomahawks. I know there's like there was some like bag of beans esque type items. I'm not sure though. I'm kind of scrolling right now. I'm not seeing them, but and there's like all the classic bags. I think there's like a bag of holding, or I'm seeing here a handy haversack, like all those magic item
Yeah, I mean,
bags.
again, I expect in the next month. I mean, to be honest, I mean, I've been following. I mean, I'm on
Mhm.
Kilbo's Press Discord thing every day, and
You're like,
well,
when is it gonna be in
I actually
Foundry?
signed up to help them moderate it, so I'm
Oh
actually
wow,
an admin on there. Um,
that is
I
cool. Oh my gosh.
it sounds cooler than what it actually is, but it's all fun,
Oh,
right? It's not like I'm
Oh
making any money off of it, right? But
yeah.
they had asked for people, and I was like, yeah, sure,
Oh,
I'll
that's
do
cool.
that. But I mean, it's pretty low key over there, so it's not like there's that much I need to do.
Hey, it's probably fancier than the old MCDM one.
There you go. But at
That's
any rate,
pretty cool.
they do seem really dedicated
Mhm.
to crank out. I think one thing they realize is that people, for better or for worse, right? Because 5e has been out for the better part of a decade, whatever it's been, 10, 11 years, right? Um, people are used to having so many options, right? So I just think they're really working on
Mhm.
trying to crank out more and more stuff as fast as they could. In fact,
Yeah.
even after once they released the book, then they came up with like an extra download for free, which was like, hey, here's some other, you know, lineage, races, whatever you want to call them in this day and age, right?
Mhm.
That you could be, right? Like
Yeah.
they're not in the book. We didn't publish them, but here it is for free, right?
Wow.
Because they're trying to get other stuff out there. And I know like Dragonboard wasn't in the book, and that was something that was just play tested or has been being play
Yeah.
tested on their Discord. So they're working on that. One was really cool. One was like I don't want to say it's Time Lord, but it's very like a lost in time type of character, and he gets a certain amount of
Sick.
being able to see into the future and stuff like that. It was an
Oh,
Enoch
what?
or something. It was pretty cool.
That'd be so perfect for my character. Oh my gosh, because the whole theme is supposed to be like time and like clairvoyance, kind of like seeing ahead. Whoa. Oh my
One
gosh.
second.
But I feel like this is the one I found is still a pretty good fit with like the kind of celestial mysticalness to it. But that is.
It's only a one pager. Hold on. Snip.
Would it be too late to like see if I would want to swap that in, or
If
is
you want
that
to
like
swap it in, we can do that next week or whatever. That's fine.
I'll take a look at least. I think that could be it just sounds like really spot on honestly for what I was thinking. So wow.
All right, it's in Discord.
Thanks.
I think I stuck it in there. Hold on, jump to present.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
see
there it
it.
is. All right, cool.
Wow, cool. Thanks. I'll take a look.
It was interesting. I read it and I'm like, because they had the time wizards and stuff like that back
Yeah.
in uh, whichever book that was. That Wildmount, I guess it was, right? Because it was
Oh yeah.
they had something the Chrono Wizard type of guy who was really a bit overpowered.
Groner G, I think, right?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Uh, yeah, maybe.
Or maybe that's either way.
All right, all right, all right. Um, so let me jump to what I wrote back on the 14th so I can just see it. All right, cool. So, so each one of you are, don't know each other. We'll just put it that way, right? You're all doing your various.
I have an upkeep question.
Oh, sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
So my character is currently encumbered,
Mm, you must have a
and
lot of shit.
no, I just have the Explorer's Pack, which is 59 pounds.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
Here, we'll turn it
I
off. We'll
need
look at it later. That's fine.
Whoa.
Configure settings.
I don't think I
Uh,
even put my items in properly.
we'll play with that
But
later.
it's
Now he's not.
it says that
Yeah.
Close your sheet and
it's
open up again, and it won't be.
close my sheet and open up again.
Yeah, I think so because I just turned it off.
All right, let me go take a look here. No, it still says I'm encumbered.
Really? Ah,
Yeah.
because if I all right, we'll figure it out. That's fine. Because I went into the Black Flag role playing encumbrance tracking none. Yeah, I don't know. We'll look at it later.
And I'm just looking at my inventory. I think it says that I have 81 pounds of gear, which I don't know why, but it says out of 180.
Odd.
Yeah, we'll look at it. I don't know. To be quite honest, track it on your character sheet. It's fine. We'll figure it out over the next couple weeks, right?
All
Because
right.
since it's in beta, I don't know if it's like a bug in Black Flag or it's just that, we drag and drop something incorrectly. So we'll troubleshoot it during the week. We'll figure it out. Like I expect this Foundry thing to be buggy. That's we'll try. Like I encourage you to try and set up what you can in Foundry because that way we'll find out what's screwed up, right? And we'll fix it over time. I can even I've already gone to the Foundry Discord and occasionally posted in there a thing or two that I might have found, right? But I just don't want to go down rabbit holes when I don't know if it's a fact that their code is just, hit a snag or it's something else. Who knows? I'm sure, like if it was 5e, I would just go in there and click around and I'm sure we would fix it within 30 seconds. I just don't know. And that's another thing too. Like I'm still
Yeah.
like finding out where they put things in this Foundry Windows versus the other ones. I mean, it's similar, but
Okay.
not similar.
No worries. I just was hoping for a quick fix, and if
Yeah,
there isn't one,
understood.
then
I
we'll
don't
wait.
know. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I feel like it'll get better over the weeks. We'll just kind of have to
Yes,
figure it out as we go, and
that's my
we'll
attitude of it.
transfer more and more.
That's
I
that's
think it'll be fine.
yeah. We'll make it work. We've D&D'd enough with pen and paper back in the past, so we'll make it
I'm
work.
I'm growing to enjoy pen and paper more and more. Well, proverbial pen and paper, just PDFs, but still.
There you go. So okay, so long story short, you've been traveling after a long day, doing whatever your character has been up to, guarding caravans or relaxing at an inn or whatever it might be, and each one of you all of a sudden in some room by yourself, right, not in a public place, a portal opens up and um, a voice from the other side basically comes and says, um, come in. You know, whatever I've got for you to work here is definitely better than what you're currently doing. Um, and to be honest, you're just looking around and say, yeah, not wrong. I'm really not doing anything right now. What do I got to lose, right? The adventuresome attitude. And um, you walk through the portal, and all five of you walk through at roughly the same time. We'll assume that Nat the gnome is there with you. He's just very quiet right now, and you come into a big underground. I would call it an underground town, maybe a small city. I don't know. The book hasn't been released yet, and but before you stands a kobold. Not your typical kobold that we're used to doing for back in the 1E days where kobolds were just a first level monster. In this system, kobolds are player characters. So, this kobold looks like a mechanist, right? Uh, he has a lot of gear and keys and all kinds of, um, various mechanical gadgets around him. And you walk through, and he says, "Welcome to the smithy, home of knowledge within the labyrinth. I am Contact. I guess I'll go with Contact. Kontak. Contact. We'll go Contact. Says I am one of the keepers of the knowledge of the labyrinth and, to a certain extent, the multiverse. And I have seen that, I believe that each of you has a destiny to fulfill. And to be honest, it would be somewhat advantageous to me to point you on the right path to get there. And that's why I've brought you together, to ferry you to what I see is a great destiny for all of you." I see you're all stunned, speechless. So, but that's okay. So, this location is, you can think of it as a world between worlds, a passage between the different um, areas of this existence. And as such, we've gathered lots of knowledge here. And I think we need your help to set this destiny that I see, this wrong that needs to be fixed, corrected.
Yeah,
What
I
do
think.
you need?
Oh yeah.
This is basically me trying to say something better than you all meet in a tavern.
What does your character look like?
Claudius?
Yeah.
He's a crayfish. He's a giant crayfish
Nice.
with a
Amazing.
backpack that weighs 59 pounds.
Very heavy backpack. Nice. Yeah, I get like that what do you need question I think would be echoed by Inara, this sort of like strange alien looking oh shoot, I forget the name of the it is a Sidarian, kind of with these metallic eyes. Yes, I know I'm fated to be here. How can I help on your quest? Like very kind of serious and
He says
follows.
it's quite easy, and he drops this cube that kind of opens up and separates into 4 different pieces, and another portal opens up between the pieces of the cube. And he says, "This is really just, we'll call it a stop in the road, right? Stepping through here, you will meet your quest and your destiny."
That is very vague.
It is.
On we go. This is my destiny, and I think Inara will step forward and still allow, of course, the discussion to happen and everything, but is very unquestioning of the whole thing.
Hey man, long as you got the liquor, the women, and the gold, I'm your boy. Let's do it. And like he just kind of like rolls around and like he tumbles and like his little 3-point jingle hat like kind of rolls around with him and he just kind of like tumbles into the portal.
I knew you would all be enthusiastic about this whole thing. This is awesome.
Who's left
I'm
on
not.
Has
the
Dinara
other
gone through the
side?
portal? Is that
What's that?
did Dinara go through the portal?
Yeah. If that's yeah, but you like
All
I'm
right,
not pulling anyone else through. Like you guys could. I don't want to interrupt the because you guys are talking to the dude.
all right. Claudius will go through the portal.
Okay.
I love it. We're just all going for it. It's awesome.
There you go. Holgrim probably says a couple of choice words, and because that seems to be what his character does. And Morna says, "Might as well. Wasn't doing shit where I was anyway," and off he goes. Is Linda? Is it Linda? Linda? Do we just call him Linda? Thodor, you're on mute.
That
So
was
if you're
start.
saying great things, I can't hear
The
you.
Linda of the second.
I think he had
I,
mentioned. Oh, go ahead.
I was laughing my ass off. Uh, oh, I can finally change the name.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change the name. Um,
Okay.
what did I? Um, he is going to identify himself as Saf, and he's going
Organization.
to. What's that?
So, no, I'm talking to myself. Sorry, I forgot I was not on mute.
He's going to identify himself as Saf, and looks like a tanned human wearing kind of flowing clothes to keep the sun off, including around his face. And he's got a turban on, and so you can't see that much of his face. Just his eyes, basically. But he kind of grunts and says, "Nope, Saf." Um, uh, with an F.
Oh, F.
Yeah.
SAF.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be totally honest, I'm kind of punting because that's a nickname, and I don't. I have a real world name that this is based on, but I don't want to make it too close.
Okay.
So
That's
it's going to
Rogan.
take me. It's going to take me a minute to get it right. And anyway, so he would just kind of grunt and say something like, "You say my density is that way. I walk towards it." I'm not going to do that voice the whole time because it's gonna be too hard. But yeah, big human, big tanned human, not obvious, like kind of wearing robes and a turban, but obviously armed also.
Okay.
And he would just basically jump through the portal without much chit chat.
Fair enough. So you jump through the portal and there is at first a flash of light and then intense black, both momentary, both burst upon your mind. Suddenly you find yourself in a room, strange architecture, glazing intently at the eyebrows of a thinning hair of an aged man, a spellcaster by the look of his robes. Your back is pressed against something, thankfully not solid enough to have caused you any pain when you materialized here. Your chest and your legs are forcing the wizard to teeter on his stool. His eyes fly wide as he sees you appear, and his mouth opens in surprise as he is bowled over onto the floor. Your balance upset, and your knees a bit unsteady as yet, you join him, nimbly avoiding crushing the frail old man beneath you. A crash heralds.
I didn't know we were that close. He just kind of like winks at him, not getting up.
A crash heralds the next member of your party who manages to upset the desk upon the wizard had been writing. And a tinkle of glass as the rush of wind as your friend joins you on the floor strike almost musical accompaniment to the inarticulate whoops made by the startled old man. The cubes that brought you here drop to the floor, and stepping over and around the bodies arrayed on the floor about him, the wizard scoops up the cubes into a pouch produced from his belt, looks at you intently and obviously with delight. My, he beams. Welcome to Bazaar, my heroes. So nice of you to drop in. My name is Al Recrieb. What's that?
So nice of you to catch me. And it just like bops him on the nose.
He's kind of, amused by this, but he takes it all in good stride. And he says, welcome to, what did I say it was? Browsar. My name is Amin El Raqib. And I am an astrologer and advisor to the town. I am so glad you are all here. I have been looking for heroes to help with what is going on with this land.
Then
What's
it's we
going
who made the
on?
call. Oh, sorry.
Well,
I didn't
I
catch
am
what you said.
glad you're asked. There it is. It is indeed quite a story. So, sorry, I get myself comfortable and get to the right spot here. So, you are currently on, we'll say, the edge of the desert of Desolation. And an event is about to occur that was foretold 1,000 years before. And we need adventurers to help this event come to a successful conclusion. So he says, many years ago, there was a wizard called Martek. He was a great wizard. And during his time, there was a evil, one second here, an evil Afreet of great power. And he was able to defeat and imprison this evil jinn. But he knew that 1,000 years from now, this evil would be able to escape from his prison. As such, Martek decided of a plan on how to fix this, and that he would devise a way that he could be resurrected 1,000 years from now and be able to defeat the Ifrit and remove him from this area for all time. But in order to put this plan into action, because he would have to have, obviously he was going to die, there'd be certain magic items and so on and so forth that, could ruin his plan in that 1,000 years. So what he did was, he, in his tomb, because he was afraid his tomb was going to get ransacked by someone, and then 1,000 years from now, he wouldn't have the stuff that he needs. So what he did was, he enclosed his tomb, and to open the tomb, you need 5 gems to open this tomb. We call them star gems. He used to call them the great star gems of Murtok, but to me that's kind of wordy. So
While
these,
this is going on,
what's
Saf
that?
is going to. While this is going on, Saf is just going to like turn to whatever the scenery is and just start poking at it.
Okay,
I am listening, but Saf is not.
fair enough. So these star gems, he gave one each to a leader in the area of that time. He scattered among the leaders of the various tribes and the people who were here, so that no one would be able to gather them all together until the right time and get in this tomb and get what is needed for his resurrection and for banning this evil spirit that has plagued the land. So what we're looking for at a high level is someone the time has come to find these gems, and that is why you are here. He
We
pauses.
can do that. We can find shinies.
Piece of cake, right? No problem. So
Cake, pie, cherries, whipped cream. We got it all, baby.
This is truly my destiny.
So let's see. Let me just pull something up here. I can get this out to you guys. Once I find the right one.
I start licking the floor.
Okay. So he gives to you guys a rough map of the area. So let's boop. There. Is this it? Oh, that's. Did I give you south or north?
North.
Oh,
North.
God.
Oh, you gave us both.
Oh, that's interesting.
you
It did give us both. Oh, it's all in one.
Actually, you gave us like the whole thing.
The whole thing?
The
Yeah.
whole thing. I'm gonna go scroll to the very bottom and see what's there. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
That's fine. You don't know
We're-
what it all is anyway. But that's interesting. I thought show players
Are-
would just do one part of it, not everything. Interesting.
Are we supposed to see south or north?
South for now. That's fine. The
All
rest
right,
of it
I'll
will
focus
come
on
in
south.
time. No loss. But I learned something new today. Okay, about Foundry. I thought that the show player button would just be for that section, not for the entire thing. All right. As you can see, I put a lot of time into all that, so I'm not going to go and do all that right now. So, at any rate, you have 2 maps now of the south and the north, right? But we're more interested in the south because you are south of the south map, right? And it shows you a rough idea of where all the areas are, right? There was a couple of a couple of cities that were nearby, right? And there could be one of the gems could be in one of those areas, right? There is an oasis to the far north of the map, right? Um, and so forth, right? One thing he gives you as well is if you look on, since you have all of them anyway, number 4, there's a thing that it says alpha. Do you see that?
Oh, it's a key. Is
Yes.
that-
I have spent a lot of time um, you know, translating the language of this area into, you know, something so we could read and understand what went on 1,000 years ago, right? So
Yes.
you can use this key to read and understand this map and translate it into something more readable. But one second here. I just want to get the names of some of the cities. I had it and I lost it. One second. No one said these 1E modules were the most organized, and I tried to do it as best I could.
Yeah, you said the last one pretty well, so kudos.
Right. Um, you know, the one city would be Tabakar, right? That's probably the one roughly to the, I believe it's the one to the west of the end of the river there. And there is another one that's down there to the south of the river, right? That is, if I get the name, one second, I'll just do it this way. That is Pazar, Pazar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that
And
one almost
so
kind of
forth.
looks.
What's that?
Pizarre
That
kind
one
of
kind
looks
of.
like Pizarre on the
Eh,
That's
map.
what I was saying. That's
eh,
cool.
Yeah.
kind of does.
Good catch. Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah. Green.
So those gems could be in those locations or maybe other ones on this map. I don't know.
Wow.
You know,
Oh yeah.
And- Sorry, could you just say one more time where on the map we are starting? I think I'm.
say south of this map, off of the map to the
Okay,
south.
got it. Okay.
So when you start on your journey, you will be coming onto the south of the map and then going from wherever
The
from
south
there.
map and going up. Okay, I see.
Yep. So the way this area is set up, right, is there is a you know what? Hold on one second. Da 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 da. So one second. I think it's in here. Let's see. Let's see if I can. Yes, it is. How about that? Let's see. Can I copy this? Copy image. Thank you. Paste. So for us 1E people, right? You are, and I don't know if I can find exactly where it would be on this map, and I don't know this map is all that clean. But basically, if you were looking at this map, you are somewhere like towards the south corner of it, or it says Sea of Dust, roughly. You are somewhere, I believe, on there on this old 1E map. Not that it matters, but basically, you were on the edge.
Where did you put this map?
I think I just put it in the Discord. 'Cause I think
Oh,
I
you
I
put
don't.
it under Tales of the Valiant.
Oh, did I?
Okay.
Oops, I did. I put wrong one. Sorry, copy paste error. My bad. I'll move it later. My bad. But
Oh,
you're
good.
down in that southeast corner. So where this town is nestled is like on by one of the mountain ranges on the edge of the desert areas. So you're like, say, in a valley in the mountain range, roughly 3 to 4 days travel to get to the edge, the south edge of the desert, where this map would start on the south edge. Okay, so this area, he continues, was at one time a fertile area. And the river that you see here on this map um, is now dried up. That one of the leaders, who we believe has one of the star gems, placed a curse on this land. Not exactly sure why. Haven't found that out yet. Right? And that caused the river to dry up. And since the river dried up, it all became overcome by the desert and, is now, an arid land. And one hope that we have is possibly that when you go off on your journey, maybe you can find a way to potentially lift the curse as well. That will help not just get rid of this evil Ifrit, but also heal the land in some way so that this area can be greener than it once, back to where it was originally. We don't know for sure if the curse that the leader put on the land is 100% tied to the star gems, but the coincidences are there potentially that fixing one might fix the other.
So
Bring this back.
the star gems might be able to help fix it piece by piece, or help each other fix like themselves. He looks at you confused, not being the smartest person.
Yeah, all we really know is that the gems are needed to get into the tomb of Martek. That is for certain,
All
right?
right.
The fate of each gem and how they might tie to the larger land, we can't say that we've known.
Hmm.
It clicks. So he's like, "Oh, special gems for the areas or something, and might fuck with the area up if we take the gems." No problem.
Now, even though, just to let you know, there are a number of factions in this land that even though this is an arid and dry land, the people of this town and they have dedicated themselves to try to keep this land going in some way or form. So they have become really expert traders, and they have been trying to continue trade, cross the desert when they can, and so forth. So these people, where you are now, is the Duperi. I'll put their name in chat just so we can try and keep it. I'll try and put the right one this time. So this guy, this
I'm
kind of put
taking
some.
notes.
Yeah, this is kind of a lore dump. So let me.
I'm on it. I'm all over it.
Let me just put some notes in here so you've got everyone's name, right? So we have here that Amen Al. Well, if I can do this. Al. It's hard for me to type in the dark. There we go. So that is that. That's the guy you're talking to, right? And then you have 5 star gems. And you have a river that
I'm so
dried.
proud. I had his name spelled right. I just guessed off of
Nice.
how it sounded.
Well, that's good because people who have played with me will tell you, all of you have, but I am horrible at pronunciation. I try, but it's not my thing.
No worries. You nailed it with that one.
So we have DUPR. So the Dupri, whatever. They are the ones who basically run most of this area. They have established trade through the deserts, and you know, and have been working to continue to reestablish the trade that have become nearly impossible since the leader's curse. So I should put his in him. The leader who cursed. So leader who cursed. Whoop. Is Amun Ray. So Amun Re is the leader who cursed this area, who we believe has one of the star gems. Now these Dupri, right, who run this area, they are very strict on their trade, and they patrol this area with they're called air lancers, and they ride around on Pegasi. So you will see them occasionally roaming various areas, making sure as best as possible that trade and some level of, we don't want this area to be total lawlessness. So they try to protect and keep an eye on trade and groups as best they can. Now, of course, so these folks, they worship the one true God, at least as their point of view, which is Anu. So, thank you. Let's put that in there as well. Right.
He also brings out a hanky for you just in case it happens again. And he
thank you. He takes the hanky, blows his nose, and says thank you, and gives it back. So
he puts it back in the pocket for later.
There you go. They worship the one true God. Now, there's been other. There was other people here who used to worship many gods in this area, and many gods. They are the Randurai? I don't know. RAN. Right? Now, most of these folks have since, we'll say, converted to the one true God anew. But there are some who have held out, right? These are the dervishes. All right, Dervishe are not converting. So there is occasional friction, we'll say, in the area between the dervishes uh, and the Dupare. So yeah, I mean, it could be that how that relates to the star gems. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I just want to let you know that you'll be meeting these factions as you travel across the desert, and you might have to, deal with some of those politics as they come up through the land.
Oh, the more the merrier for our show. Woohoo!
I'm sure we will deal with them in the manner that is set out for us.
Okay. Um.
So, would you suggest maybe should we look for this Amun Ray first if he's said to have one of the crystals, or do the rest of you should we explore a bit and learn more about the cities?
How are we gonna find this Gazoon type without knowing where to go or where he's at?
It is yeah, that will be a big problem actually for us. Maybe
Does
I
anyone know of
see that.
him? Like, is he a hush hush kind of guy? Is he like keeping it on the DL, or is he like parading around, look at me type of dude?
Oh, the Amun Ray, Amun Rai,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Gesundheit.
he was one of the leaders of the area. Like I said, which town where he was located, I'm not sure. He has since been buried in into a pyramid, which has been lost. As folks from this leaders from this area tend to be. Um, so a little foreshadowing on the splash page that you're on. Um, so yeah, but where exactly that's located, hard to say. It's been lost to 1,000 years of time.
Hmm. Well, I suppose we have one lead with uh Pazda, I think it was the name of that city. I'm blanking now, but that southern city, that was like one area we could check out if we're not sure exactly where people are.
Yeah, either of
Get on the
those two
beat.
southern cities would probably be a good place to start.
Mhm. And can you remind me of those names quickly, or should we try to
Oh, sure, I can put them in
translate on the
there.
map?
There is. Let me get the other one. Boop 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 boop. I gotta find them both to be honest. I remember Prazar because that's the easy one to remember.
Mm-hmm. Czar, that's what it was.
And the other one is just let me find it. It's TRB BAK. Yeah, those are the two southern cities. Or you could just translate the hieroglyphics. Or you could just cast a lot of translate read languages or whatever TOV calls it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they have their version. I was trying to go back with these symbols and do it little by little, but it's
So
pretty
yeah,
darn
it takes
slow.
time. It's slow. It takes time. When I did this, oh my gosh, 35 years ago, yes, the group I had back then took the time to translate them all.
Wow,
What can
that's
I
awesome.
say? They were into it, I suppose. I am trying to get
Yeah.
to here, and I want to go here and here. Let's do something different and say this. Thank you. Let's plop you guys down on here a bit so you can see what the darn town looks like. Boop. Boop. We get Saf. And this guy. And this guy. And boop. So at least you can see the town. He says you're welcome to stay at my house if you wish, until you are ready to depart. I'll be happy to, help give you some supplies as you see fit to make your journey. There is an inn just north of here. The bazaar is a little bit west of that, where you can, buy various equipment and such as well. The temple is to the north. The Raj to the south is kind of the, where the town is actually run. I would call it the administrative offices.
Okay.
Let me just make sure there's anything else I want to lore dump. I think that's it. But once you get access to the tomb, in the tomb of Martek is the sphere of power, which is what Martek used to banish the Ifrit into his current prison, right? So I would think that Martek will take care of that when you wake him from his rest. But that is the the final goal, so to speak, is to use that sphere to take care of the Ifrit.
Gotta get the thing to do the thing. Yeah.
Yep. And the full plan of what Martek was going to do, we really don't know that either. We know that we have to, get him up, but exactly what his full plan was and what he's going to do, I mean, only Martek knows for now.
Well, we should certainly work to revive him then. Do we need to make preparations before our voyage? Would any of you like to see what may be for purchase or anything like that?
Yeah, I kind of don't got squat. And he like pulls out his pockets and like a little couple like moss pop out of them and stuff like that. He was like, yeah, he kind of like caught me with literally landing in my hand. So I need to go load up after the last performance.
Ah. What are you in search of?
Like anything really. I was kind of like living with my bundle and I kind of forgot that. Silly me.
I see. Well, if it's coin you need, I'm always prepared to step into
Oh
interdimensional
no,
portals myself. So I did bring everything I needed.
I got enough coin in a sock to knock out a horse. I just forgot everything else.
I see. Well, I'm sure there are things for purchase.
Yeah. As
You
long as
know
we can
what?
get someone, I'll be set.
I'm gonna change the name of that city. It's actually Bakar. My bad.
Okay. We'll update that. Bakar. And the one in
Loreness
the
was
west
quite
was
dead.
Bakar.
Yeah, the
Right.
west is Bakar. My bad.
Mm-hmm. No, it's all good. Okay. South. Okay, cool.
Which I almost got it right.
Basically the same. Cool. Yeah.
So
I mean, I had an actual item that I found that was a reasonable amount. It was like under the amount of gold I had, but I wanted to maybe clear it and run it by. We could play it as my character looking for it at the bazaar or something like that. The item was the Wand of Secrets, which I can just basically use it to see if there's a hidden trap door or something within 30 feet of me, and it's like
Ooh,
3 times per day.
that is awesome.
So it's while holding it, you can make an action to expend one of its charges, and if a secret door or trap is within 30 feet, the wand pulses and points at one nearest to you. That's 550 gold, and I have like 600 something, so I wanted to see if I could grab that as my
well,
like
how
magic
much
item.
magic items do you have now? Did you put them all back?
Oh no, that's the only one that I was gonna get. I just
Oh,
didn't grab one
okay.
yet.
That's Thardor, yeah.
Gotcha,
That's me.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So All Star, if All Star has that, then that's fine if you want to get that. That's a common item, or what is it listed as?
Um, it
think it's
is.
uncommon.
Oh, I just lost it. Yeah, I think it's probably uncommon from the sound of it. Oh
Is
shoot,
it
I just lost it.
uncommon? Because I think I was saying trying to just have
Where did
common
you find the
items.
list of
Oh,
magic
got it.
items?
Okay, I can just do common. It is an uncommon item. Yeah, it's. I didn't see that. Sorry. I can.
That's
Yeah, I can
okay.
grab a common item instead.
Okay.
Sweet. Apologies.
The list of magic items that I have starts on page. Magic item.
162.
Yeah, I'm almost there. I was at 180 something. Yeah, 162. You said. Okay.
I think so.
All right,
Yes,
I'll
I'm
pop
trying.
over there. Take a look, maybe.
Because what I really wanted was a decanter of endless water.
Whoa. Hmm.
That's smart. I think you should get that. Yeah.
That's a particularly fun item.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming they have such a thing, that or
Yeah,
you
I
could
don't
just
know if
take
they
the third
do.
level spell, create water, which your cleric would have access to, because water's a big thing here. So you're going to be wandering around the desert. It's going to take you, like I said, it's going to take you like you're in a desert area now, but this is, there is some water in this area because it comes down from the mountains. It's about a 3 ish to 4 days journey, say, to the true desert, maybe about a 3-day journey through this area to where the mountains start up again, right? A lot of this is what they call the dust wall, which is basically whatever sand has blown from the desert kind of accumulates in these mountain valleys and
Wow,
so forth.
create food and water is third level.
Yes, it is.
Ooh.
I looked that up.
Big deal.
So they will give you. Oh, wait. Let me find that. About to say I copied and pasted all this somewhere, and I don't remember where I copied and pasted it to. Right. This is the stuff for mounts. Oh, I didn't copy. I copied and pasted the rules on how you melt, so to speak, but not necessarily what they give you. So I know they give you enough provisions for like 10 days, and it's going to give you like a good 4 days to get to the edge of the desert. You can. So if you want to take additional water, or if you think you're going to, use a spell that the cleric has, if worse comes to worse, but you could be roaming around for however long it takes you to find things, right? They would say to get to the top of the map, if you don't get lost or anything like that, and you did it straight, that it would probably be a little short of 2 weeks to get to the top of the map.
But we probably only need to get to a town, hopefully.
Yes. Well, these
Right.
towns are more, more ruins than they are actual living places.
Oh, I see. Okay, because that map it's ancient before
Mhm.
the water dried up.
Yep, correct.
Hmm. Okay, so we may need to bring a little bit more. If we have about 10 days worth, I don't know how you want to rule the encumbrance from the issues earlier, but if we
Yeah,
want
we
to,
can get to that. Um, they can give.
like,
Right, they'll be willing to give you like either a camel or a horse as well as those provisions.
Ooh.
If you want anything more than that, that's fine. Um,
Saf will definitely take a camel.
fair enough. One,
Well.
that's not one for each, just one. If you each want your own camel, then you can all buy one.
No, I think that guy's gonna need more than a couple of camels, and he kind of like points to the crustacean.
So we'll say the camel's carrying capacity. We'll put it similar. Let's see here. I'm just comparing 1E to 5E again to make sure
Mhm.
I've reading everything I want to do here. Um,
See, if we bring a camel, we'll have to bring food and water for the camel too.
yes, you do. That is correct.
So you end up carrying more food and water than the camel could carry.
Well,
Ooh.
but the camel is much better at maintaining water than people are. Um, it's going to be the last thing to die, basically, if we run out of water.
Let's eat it first.
There you
We could
go.
eat it.
Well,
They're incredibly water efficient, um, and somewhat ornery, I have to say.
well, let's see what we can carry before we look at hiring another camel. I feel like we're going to have exactly as much food as we need. It's a premonition. Um,
Um,
That's funny.
so the wizard says, once you get past the mountains and into the open desert, um, there really is outside of the oasis to the far north. There really is no water to be found because of the curse. So you take what you can, you have what you can take with you, or whatever you can conjure.
Um,
oh, go ahead.
I was going to make a survival roll, but I do intend for Saf to be a desert barbarian. So he would be familiar with this particular question. And I think he would very much. I can roll for it, and you can tell me
So what's the question?
uh,
I'm sorry.
about whether um, to to take a camel and carry more water or not. Um,
Oh,
uh,
um,
which side of it he's on, in other words. Um, and and I can roll for it, or oh boy, can I roll for it though? That's he actually has all of these features that are not going to come across particularly well because the berserker gets a bunch, or the slayer gets a bunch of features around animals. Um, and yeah, anyway, they don't seem to be. They don't. Oh, the tracker. There we go. So he's pretty familiar with animals, and anyway, he wants to bring a camel. I think.
yeah,
But
he
I don't know
would
how.
he would prefer the camel. The camels, while you are correct, can be ill-tempered for sure. Um, you know, it can go travel 1 week without food or water without any effect on the camel. So
Pretty good.
while you're right that you will have to feed him or water the camel eventually, you know, you get a certain amount of that for, we'll say, free until you actually have to, you know, take care of him. But if it's considering that, you know, you got to go a good 4 days just to get to the edge of the desert, you know, if you started not feeding or watering him at the start, you would get about, you know, 3 days into the desert before you had to take care of the camel. But there is some water in the area before you get to the desert. So you're probably okay. You could probably get to the you figure you are likely to be able to get to through the mountains and take care of the camel with whatever you find. I mean, you might have to feed him a little bit because you are in a like, you know, a blasted land. But as far as the water is concerned, you won't have to water him in the area. So you'll see how it goes. He might be a little skinnier if you decided to ignore him for 4 days until you got to the desert, but you'd probably find some stuff along the way.
And you probably wouldn't notice that he was significantly more ornery. Probably be about the same level of ornery.
The camel or the barbarian?
The camel. I have been playing with how to add my scores, and I still have not figured it out.
All right,
uh,
we'll fiddle with
Okay.
it.
Real quick crash course. There's the little 1 second. You know, when you go to out of your leveling up process and you go to your main thing, there's the abilities little wheel.
Yeah.
Click on the wheel, then instead of global, you just click whatever the hell that is. Then you can just add in your scores at the top. It says if you're proficient or add whatever. Like you could change the number.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Here's something for Saf, right? Because I love 1E. It is crazy what these guys came up with. You know that if a camel has remained in the same place for 1 hour, it is likely to lie down, and there is a 20 and the chance of this happening is 20% cumulative for each hour, and the camel will refuse to rise 40% of the time, and this diminishing by 5% per turn of coaxing.
Oh my gosh.
No, I love it.
Ow.
I love it. I
1E is absolutely the master of coming up with like crazy little statistics and things to roll for.
I hope we use that.
There you go. That's what your guy knows about the orderliness of camels.
That's very helpful. Actually. Ow. Okay.
Just for, I mean, I didn't make that up, but there it is.
No, I totally. I have no trouble believing that that's what it says at all. Oh, it did work. Yay! Thanks, Smiley. I can finally set my stats. Yay,
Woo! You're welcome, bud.
There you go.
I think. We'll see. Yeah. All right.
Hey. Quick question, DM.
Yeah.
So the the Jester Bard has this little marionette stick thing with the carved head in it that he could use as an arcane focus. Can I just kind of like say that's my axe? The axe has like a carved head in it, and it's like both the marionette and my arcane focus because of the combat casting.
I guess so, but if you throw your axe, then you like throwing away your focus, right?
That's why he's got one smashy axe and a bunch of little axes to toss.
Oh, well then that's fine. As long as you're aware of it.
I thought about this already, yes. And if he tosses his arcane focus axe, he has to roll around to go grab it again.
There you go. Let's see. Here, if you want even more, just to show you how ridiculous this thing is. I love 1E is just crazy. So I'm not going to use this, but they have a chart since you're asking about, about camels, right? For a camel and a horse, like you spin a D12. They actually use a D12, and then like based on what you spin, you see on this chart somehow that you know what is the possibility of getting some sort of. The first number represents the chance of detection on the D12. The second number being agitated, and the third panic. So I take it that means that if there was fire, a camel would panic on an 11 or a 12 on a D12. There you go.
Wow.
That's fucking funny.
It's so deep.
They
It's like there's so much to it. Wow.
The thing that gets me about it is when I played 1E back in the day, I didn't go into all these charts. It was crazy. I'm sure somebody did. It wasn't me. All right, I'm sorry. I digress. So sure. So your barbarian would think that obviously a camel would be relatively helpful, right? It can go for periods of time without food or water. You will have to feed it probably or water it at some point, but yeah, you get some of that travel time for free. So if you're going, you could walk it. There's no doubt about it, right? Another thing to keep in mind too is since your barbarian is desert-y, right? Is when do you want to travel, right? Because I don't know. Traveling during the day in the desert and like hot plate, if you have plate armor or metal armor, that's not going to be fun.
Leather, 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 all the way. Leather daddy. Oh, sorry, what? Huh?
So traveling at night, if you want to travel at night, right? That's easier from all way things are done, but depends on you how
yes,
you want to do that.
you have to be good at the stars and like yeah, so you have to be good at the stars, and and you have to make sure to stay out of the heat. But definitely traveling at night is almost certainly preferable.
Yes, Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah,
You ever seen that
it's
movie?
I have climbed some big dunes in the daytime, and I do not recommend it. It is much nicer to be at night. The one problem can be that you can't see that well. But the desert is usually clear, so it's not too much of a problem. Very rarely is there any weather to speak of aside from wind.
Oh, look at this big muscle, big brain guy. And he starts like squeezing your muscles and like kind of like massaging your head, getting like real close and doing it like kind of like cartoon style, like on one side, then he jumps to this side and then that side.
Um,
bells on his little curly toe boots and his hat just jingle around.
I think Saf would just like just be like, okay, sure, and not say anything.
I picture him like a gator with one of those birds that just like constantly pick at it, and it's just like,
Yeah, pretty much. I think think that's right. He's just gonna be like, okay, this is how this is.
yeah. Personal space is not a thing with him, by the way. There's just space.
Right.
Oh,
So what do you want to do?
Well, I
uh,
think first, like the big guy said, either find water and move at night. So we should boogie to one of those things. Yeah. And he just kind of like waits there for anyone to answer him, and just like stop moving and like, yeah.
So stock up on some water.
Probably,
yes.
Yeah.
which is fairly cheap. It's just a matter of making sure you want to carry it all.
Yeah, this guy has no problem with it, right? And he smacks the big barbarian on the shoulders, like, look at that. Perfect pack mule. I mean, uh, uh, perfect guy for the job. Yeah. And he kind of like winks and finger guns at you as he just like walks behind one of the other party members.
I am unlikely to be able to carry anything with my strength, but I have a feeling that we will have enough water if all of you carry additional.
I know you got to carry your own.
Oh,
I ain't gonna have
I
no slack in here.
suppose.
I ain't doing your work. God, you give me your water, I'll either piss in it or drink it myself.
Oh
Oh,
my god.
that's
Totally
not what
not.
I expected, but what? Whoa. Inara is just like bewildered, but accepts it.
Oh,
He don't
So
take no shit.
you just want to basically grab some water and your camel, and off you go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think so.
I was making sure. It's all good.
Out to adventure.
Does anyone else need anything at this point?
Well, I was kind of hoping to get some magic items, but
Okay, well we can certainly look at if someone needs to buy something or whatever. Do you know what you're looking for, or
no, that's the thing. I don't know what I'm looking for. Well, no, I
Yeah.
really am looking for a decanter of endless water.
it's uncommon? Sorry, I just found it. It's on page 171. Besides, what fun would that be? If I gave you
That would
endless
be a lot of
water
fun.
in the desert.
Yeah, that'd make things too easy. I know. I haven't looked at all the common items on the tables yet. I just kind of like did my regular like kit items for a minute, and
The
I've
one
been
I was
just my
looking
regular.
at was like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go.
I was gonna say I was looking. The one I saw that was a common item that seemed pretty cool was the anklets of alacrity on page 162 of the player's guide. But they give you a additional proficiency bonus to your initiative
yeah,
if you're not surprised.
yeah.
But I don't know
That's
if that's too like directly just like stat bonus rather than like I feel like most common items I've seen before are more like flavor based. But
I mean, they definitely seem to have taken a different approach with respect to common magic items in particular. Like the idea that you could make any thrown weapon into a returning weapon. Just that uh, is like that's a big deal actually. But for most campaigns, it's kind of like so those are already on my sheet on my on my PDF sheet. Um, because that's a useful thing, and it's limited by surprise.
but
Um,
but the fact that it doesn't even require not concentration. Sorry, what's the
attunement.
attunement or anything? It's only 50 gold. I was kind of surprised. I still wanted to.
Yeah, so I think it looks it's a once a day 3 point bonus to your initiative when you're not surprised. So like there's a couple of uh there's a couple of conditionals that apply to it. Like if it's like always a +3 to your initiative, then obviously that's a big bonus or a relatively big bonus. But
Mhm,
that's like having 16 decks when you have average decks.
mhm.
Um, but once a day and not when you're surprised actually modifies that a lot and makes it it's still powerful, but it's a lot less powerful. My view. Um,
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I just wanted to run it past you, Blue Flash. If I was gonna pick this up, but
What page is it on? Oh, it's in right there.
162, and I pasted it in as well. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Either way, um, that's the only one I really saw that was like a common item that sounded kind of interesting or connected to my character. So
yeah,
I'm
that's
happy
fine.
to.
I mean, it's a once a day thing, so it's fine.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point, Theodore.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll throw it on. But I think other than that, I don't think Yunara needs to buy anything or get anything ready.
Yeah. And just FYI, the TOV rules for hazards for extreme heat is on page 223.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Just FYI.
Sweet.
And I'm fine, like, because we don't have one person here today, and I know we're all kind of like trying to feel our way through our characters with the chaos that that since Foundry is not fully quite vetted yet. So I don't mind using this if we have to get a few things straight on your characters and get them set up and ready here in character. And if we end up, I don't want to say quite calling it an early session, but if we have to just get things ready and call it, then we can really pick up next time with Nat. But I'm fine going
okay.
as far as we can get,
Yeah, either
right?
way.
But if characters need to be fixed up a little bit, then let's do that. Take that time to do that here, and we can hit the ground running either at the end of the session or next week. So if you
Okay.
need something, let's take care of it. That's fine. 'Cause otherwise, we're just passing messages to each other all the time.
Yeah. I think, yeah, from my standpoint, I had pretty much picked everything out and included it on that sheet, and we, kind of had that talk about the different spells. So I think, like, as far as like picking abilities and spells and everything, I'm all covered. And
Yeah,
then just that one item I wanted to grab, and then I think I'm
yeah.
hopefully good to go.
Okay. Yep. We did a lot with. Oops, I'm in the wrong book. Yeah, we did a lot with the spells, and I reviewed them with you, so that's fine. Whoop, I'm dropping stuff.
Cool.
Uh, Paul, you
For
still trying
whatever
to figure your thing out, or what? Where are you at?
Who, me?
Yeah, you, because you said you were trying to figure out your magic item or whatever. Did you have any questions or?
Oh, I'm not looking at it right now.
Okay.
So if you want to continue, go ahead and continue, and I'll just wait and spend my money on something else.
Okay.
On fish flakes.
Yeah, I mean, probably the easy. Here you go, fish flakes. I mean, to be honest, the easiest thing to do is probably just to open up the PDF and get to the right page and just start searching for the word common and then see which items come up, because I don't think there's a listing of the
No.
items by
No,
rarity, right?
Yeah.
no, you can't.
And the items start on page 162 of the player's guide PDF.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of taking the time to seeing what exists, right? Because again, not everything carried over from 5e, so this depends on what you are looking for. Okay. So how many days of water are you gonna try and bring with you? Each water
All of
sack is
them.
something like, I want all the water. There you go.
Oh, my strength is 8. I don't know how much water I'll be able to actually carry for myself.
So I mean, the
I'll take
water
what I
I
can,
think
but
I saw weighs, was it 5 for the water? Let me see, 5 pounds for a water sack or whatever the heck it is.
Mhm.
Water's heavy stuff.
So that would be 5 pounds.
Water skin, that's what it was. Water skin.
So it's 2 liters then,
Yeah.
roughly. A little more than 2 liters.
So
I have not been able to set my
yeah,
equipment.
water
That
skin costs 2 silver pieces and is
Yeah, I
5
couldn't set
pounds
my
full.
equipment either. So
I'm definitely not dressed for this area, so I think I should change my clothes. You know what I mean?
Sure. What are you gonna go
The-
for? Desert camo? Desert clown camo?
Desert Motley. Desert Motley. I was thinking about that.
nice.
Yeah, like desert clothes or whatever that'll help with like negate the heat.
So you should be able to. Like if I said, I know Paul and I were trying to do this earlier. So if you did items, equipment, and let me grab Saf since he's all big and strong. Inventory. If I search for water skin, and
yeah, we had to drag them from
I can drag
the
them.
compendium
Hopefully you
pack.
guys can. Yeah. So yeah, it's so like I was saying to prisoner earlier, right? If you go to, it's similar to Roll20. So if you go to the top right, there should be next to the note, there is a little book looking thingy to the right of that, which brings you to compendium packs. There's a folder there that says Black Flag Reference Document. If you open that up, there's another one that says Items and Spells.
Oh,
Under that, there is Equipment. If you double click on that, that will open up the equipment list, and then you should be able to search and drag and drop from the list onto your character sheet. And theoretically, that would give you stuff. I say theoretically because I can do it because I'm the damn DM, but I presume
Mhm.
you can do it as well.
I will try here. It was locking me out of setting my equipment based on class because I hadn't selected a subclass because my subclass
Oh,
is
interesting.
not there. But I think I can.
Oh,
But I believe I will be able to drag and drop items here onto my sheet. Yes, I am. So I will just recreate my inventory with the drag and drop rather than auto doing it from the
okay.
background.
That's fine. That's fine.
Great.
And then once they
Um,
get the backgrounds fixed, we can adjust your equipment if need be. Yeah, go ahead, Thor. What's up? Saf.
I see that there are like, I don't know, 10 magic items in the Black Flag reference stuff.
Okay.
And that's not a problem. Um, uh, I just and so we could just I think that
Ooh.
worked. I think it worked. Oh wait, the equipment says it's locked. Is that what it should say?
You can't edit
Oh,
the equipment from the compendium, but you can certainly drag and drop. So only I can unlock it. Like if I wanted to like edit the water skin and make it hold 10 pounds instead of 5 pounds, then I can
Got it.
unlock it and do it. But
Got it.
but a lock basically means it's read only, but you can certainly yank from it.
So I get 4 javelins, 1 greatsword, and a mace. I think that's all working properly. The explorer's pack is pretty heavy. But I'm not anywhere near encumbrance. And I think Saf would definitely want to load up the camel with water and provisions. Um, uh, and um, and then aside from that, um, I can oh wow, there's a
So
lot
how
of
much is the
containers.
rations? Let me just see how much the rations weigh. The rations weigh. The rations weigh 2 pounds, so that would be what, 7 pounds? So if I say that, not now. So let's say, I think they said in one E that could hold like 400 pounds. TOV has a bit more than that, but there's no camel technically in TOV. So if we do 400 divided by 7. So, like, if the only thing you cared about the camel for was, hey, I'm just going to load him down with, like, food and water, like,
Yeah,
sure,
that's it. No one's right.
you know, you could theoretically load him up with, like, 57 days of water and food if that's all you wanted to do. Now, the cost of that would be what, 5 silver plus what I said, 7 silver. So
What
times 7 silver times 57. Oh yeah, I'd be right back where I was. So that would be like 400 silver. So that'd be like what, 40 gold? Assuming they
Yeah,
actually have that many water skins and not much food just sitting around waiting to be like sent out and take around.
I think if if the cleric would be likely to, make clear that they can make more water, and Saf would have
Yeah,
seen that.
it's true. It's true that Claudius can make food and water, but it is a third level spell, so it's something he wants to use sparingly.
I mean, totally makes sense, but we're not gonna necessarily die, um, uh, for lack of water in that case, as long as he can keep doing that. How much can you make?
I don't know.
It's probably in the compendium, I imagine.
I'll
I'm just
say that
it's online here, so
I see it.
it's on my character sheet.
45 pounds of food and 30 gallons of water.
so, like,
Wow.
theoretically, sure. So I'll say that the town has like roughly enough food to give you an additional 15 days. And they're like, look, we gave you 10, we gave you like 25 days of food and water. Like, we are out
It
of
says
freaking.
enough to sustain up to 20 large or smaller creatures for 24 hours.
Yeah, but the food spoils after 24 hours. That's
Yes, it
still, I
does.
mean, that's still pretty neat that you can make that much food. Um uh yeah, but I get not wanting to spend your third level slot on that every day. You only get one, right?
He hits 2, I think.
No, it's
I
pretty
think I
big.
get. I don't know what I get. Let me look again. I had it up here just a second ago.
I want to say it's 2 slots.
Yeah, I think it's two.
Well, I mean, I get not wanting to do that every day. So, how
Yeah,
does
2.
like scrounging work? Like, uh 30 gallons of water would last a while. So, as we would mostly be like 3 gallons a day. So that's like 10 people probably.
I think it's 1 gallon per person or something like that per day.
Oh, that's not very much. That's
Is that what it
surprisingly small.
says? It
I
says, yeah,
you
purposes of the rule. I'm just reading what they did in 1E. They try to probably make the math easier. Oh, that's assuming if you're riding, which you're not. So it's twice that, according to the 1E module, if you're on foot. So they're saying 2 gallons per day if you're on foot.
so the I'm looking for the rules.
I don't think there's
For
anything in the TOV thing for it, but I want to search for it.
you said there was on 223, I see.
But that was saying, let's see. But that doesn't say how much water you should theoretically drink.
Oh, neat.
It just says, hey, if you don't have any, that would be bad.
Starvation and dehydration in chapter 6.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there now.
We're pretty unlikely to experience torrential precipitation. At least in the desert.
This is true.
So I was dumping a lot of the common items that I found that into the chat. But I don't want to keep doing that if I don't want to spam your chat with. There aren't that many of them. There's maybe 15.
Okay.
Uh, but they're mostly like the pendulous periapt where or the lucky roller dice where the charges either run out or are one a day.
Yeah.
And they're not and like the pendulous periapt is like the is like the D&D version of this, except you have to choose to miss in order to activate it. Which is kind of an interesting wrinkle.
This
But
is
then you
for
could
which one? The lucky dice, did you say? I'm sorry.
the pendulous periapt.
Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. Uh,
It's kind of a fun idea. Like you choose to miss and activate the magic, and then you get a crit.
oh, I see. It's a once a day thing, so sure. If you want that as your thing, that's fine. So on page 220, the rules for water is the same. It's 1 gallon a day per person, 2 gallons if it's hot. So you can pretty much assume that you're drinking 2 gallons per day. And then the
As long as
water skin is how much? Let's say, so the water skin,
liters, or a little more than 2 liters.
so we'll say it's 1 water skin per day.
No,
Can
a
anyone-
liter is about a quart.
Yeah.
Wait, it says 5 pounds full for a water skin. So you're converting pounds into water, right?
Oh, I'm
So-
sorry. I thought you said liters.
I did say liters. I learned so a liter of water is about 2.2 pounds.
Well, that's
Uh,
true.
So it's like a little bit more, I was just converting it in my head because I've
Right.
done that.
So doing a quick Google,
Yeah.
5 pounds, 5 pounds is about 0.6 gallons.
So 18 pounds.
Is
Drink-
what it's saying here. So I would say, so 5 pounds of water is 0.6 gallons. So that means you are drinking roughly a water skin and a half per day, per person.
7 pounds or 8 pounds of wow, that's a lot of water.
You can try to stretch that if you want, right?
How much water did it say you could summon? It was quite a lot.
Enough for 20 people.
Oh,
Well, under normal circumstances, right? But you're consuming twice as much in the desert. So you might want to say you're really doing enough for 10 people.
okay.
I mean, without looking at the math, that's just what I'm saying, right? Because the rules are basically saying you consume 1 gallon per person per day normally, and 2 gallons when it's hot. So if you're
Gonna be hot.
saying you're doing how many gallons of water?
30.
30. So 30 gallons of water is enough for 30 people for one day, or 15 people when it's hot
In the desert.
for one day.
Yeah, so I think if the water stays good, so it might be that you're creating more water every third day or something like that.
Feels about
Um,
right. If you consider your camel as a water drinker, then you have 6 people in your group. So then you're dealing with about 3 days ish per spell cast.
Mhm.
does
If
that
you're
feel
not,
minimal?
if you're saying screw the camel, then it would be exactly 3 days.
No, we can water the camel.
Well, the reason,
Probably worth it.
yeah, I feel like because we're gonna have if we should run into like a water source, we can fill up the camel. Um, and meantime, we can carry more water.
Right.
Um,
And you have the water skins, unless like you're throwing the
right.
water skins in the recycling bin, which I presume you're not.
But this also raises a question for me, which is, does anyone have the mending spell or have tools of like with tool set sewing or whatever?
I do
Does
have a
anyone?
mending cantrip. Yeah.
And that's permanent, right? So we should be able to mend the water skins if they get busted, I think.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine if we just grab
Yeah,
more.
it specifically gives a leaking wine skin as an example of a thing that can be fixed. So
Perfect. Perfect.
Is there like a water skin item that we can grab?
Yes, there
Or
is.
okay.
So if they gave you enough water for 25 days, right? Then
I only have
that's
5 days of rations, but I don't know if that counts for water as well, or if I actually need to
well,
buy it.
they're giving you enough food for well, they're giving you up front enough food and rations for 10 days as part of your camel. So if you're doing that, right, that would be doing math, right? Let's say because each water skin is roughly, we'll call it, keep the math easy. You need 1.5 water skins per day.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be for 10 days times. So there's six of six of you, including the camel, right? So that
Mhm.
means you need 60 rations. That's 60 rations of food, but it's also roughly 90 water skins because it'd be 60 times roughly 1.5. So 60, and then say 60 things of food, right? So all that is going to weigh, let's see, that would be 7 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's 5 pounds for this and 2 pounds for that. So that would be 120 pounds for the food and 450 for the camel. So to be honest, the camel by himself, right? The
Mhm.
camel by himself can pretty much like carry most of the water.
Mhm.
Like it can't carry the food and the water because it would be like what 570-ish pounds, which depending if I listen to 1E or 5E would be
Mhm.
would be about right because a draft horse or a war horse can carry 540 and you're pretty close to that. So I can say, if we want to make it easy, I can say the camel is carrying your 10 days of rations for one camel. The camel's carrying that. If you want a second camel, it would increase your food a little and water a little bit, but then you'd actually get the camel to carry something. And I have to rejigger the math to figure out what that would be. Does that all make sense?
Um.
So the camel is carrying the 10 days of rations, basically, when you do all that math.
Okay.
And do we have like tents and stuff like that so we don't have to sleep in a sandstorm during the day or in the sun?
I will assume
Yeah.
that that's part of your kit. But yeah, give yourself some adventuring kit that gives you a tent if you need to.
I feel like having a couple of camels with if the option is to have a couple of camels with water and extra rope and an extra of things and a little bit more food and all that kind of stuff is just a good idea if we're permitted to do that. No worries if not, but um, that is I just feel like it's it's nice when you have a backup. So
Sure.
if you if
The
you lose the
extra camel will be. What is the cost of the camel? Otherwise, I'll just take a course of a horse. Um, so someone lose 50 gold and you can have a second camel.
Should we just split it?
Figure out how much gold I have. I can. I thought I written out how, and I just can't find the sheet again. The table that shows how much you get at level 5.
I can I can just knock off 10. Would that be a way to split if we each knock off 10 gold?
sure.
Sure.
That might be it. Oh, okay. I'll knock off 10. So I have 50 left.
And I'll assume each camel is having half. And I'll refigure the math for 7 instead of 6. And
Okay.
figure out how much additional carrying capacity you have for your camels.
Sweet.
I just figure we're gonna if things go well, we might pick up some extra stuff. And it will be nice to have a camel to carry that.
Sure. Could very well happen. So you think we're anything else you guys want to kind of dive into?
Uh, I wanna kind of punt on the magic item thing, and we'll take that up before next week if we could.
Sure.
And then aside from that, I'm ready to go, except that I can't get my like stats working properly, but like the math
So
there is
yeah, yeah,
pretty simple. He's got a +4 on strength stuff, and his AC is 16 or 18.
yeah.
Um,
Let me know
uh,
what you need adjusted, and I'll see if I can adjust it later.
uh,
But
I can't I
that's
can't
fine.
enter I can't enter a stat for Dex at all, which is weird. Um, uh, and and I don't know why that would be. Um, and it won't let me set my max HP because it wants me to re-roll it, but it's 55. Um, basically, the way that this interface is set up, it makes it wants me to roll everything through the interface, but I've already rolled it. And
Can
it,
you roll it again and then edit it? Just
I don't.
asking.
It's possible.
Let me
Um,
unlock it. And
it is.
then
It looks like it's unlocked. Um, uh, and the skills are also not tracking properly. Um, uh, like, and
what's
the
your
reason that
dex?
Dex is 15.
Okay.
Okay, there's the. Let me see what happens when I roll it. Um, I just tried to roll a hit point, so I got a 7. It just goes. It goes. Okay, I see. It goes away.
Interesting.
Basically, I rolled 3 threes and a 9, I think, for hit points, and now I'm rolling much better. Much better, like so much better. Um, but even so, not that well. Like my highest roll was 7. Um, and I mean, it's up to you. I just had to re-roll it to get anywhere. This is still below average.
I'm wondering if because you have some other abilities that it's just so regimented on how it figures out the character sheet that trying to go out of order seems to like muck it up. But we'll see if we can fix it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, whatever you want. This is all about. So I've essentially rolled another set um, of HP, and so it's um, 15, 16. Yep. Okay. So some of the stuff seems to be working. And I'll keep going through it and see if I can make it work.
that's fine.
Um,
And my 2 cents at this point, it's like 10 of 10. So this is probably a good spot to stop anyway, because we're only going to go for like maybe at best another half hour or so. So maybe we'll stop here and then we'll start marching next week.
okay, that sounds good.
Because otherwise, you're going to go and you'll march a certain thing, and then there'll be combat, and everyone will say, "Oh, I'm tired. Maybe we should just start the combat next time." Or whatever happens to you, right? I'm not necessarily guaranteeing you combat, but something will happen, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
All right.
Oops.
Yeah, I can stay here for a little bit, but if you
I
want to
might-
try and fiddle with stuff, but we'll just kind of call it here if anyone else wants to drop, and then we'll pick up with this next week, and we'll actually start
Okay, sounds
marching down the road.
Okay.
I might ask for a quick hand with the kits. I have a I don't have the standard kit like the adventuring kit. I have like a actor's